All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Elijah Enoch. I am back from where we stopped the last time. That was on the 9th of July, 2025. And then we're talking about the basics of Microsoft Excel. Well, Microsoft Excel is the most common application. We have Google Sheets, we have 365, and we have WPS. All these can help you carry out office duties using spreadsheets or Microsoft Excel as we know it. Okay, I want to shout out to Nexo Girls and God's Favor for this opportunity to continue with this. So good morning, Favor. Good morning, Nexo Girls. It's good to be here once again. So from the last class, we were able to talk about the basics of Microsoft Excel. We went through knowing what Excel is, to knowing the different variations of Excel, 2013, 2016, 2019, and Microsoft 365. And then we talked about the shortcuts, to improve your efficiency in your duties. And we talked about self-referencing, what it means when you say reference a particular cell, the name of the column, and then the row will give you a particular cell. And then we talked about the basic formulas, the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And then we talked about absolute and relative referencing. We're going to be using a lot of these two in today's class. And then order of operations. Now, I didn't really talk about PEMDAS or BODMAS the last time. PEMDAS means parentheses, exponential, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. While BODMAS that we're familiar with is bracket of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. We are familiar with this more than this. But when it comes to calculations, if you have multiple operators, what I mean by operator, I mean the plus, the minus, subtraction, division sign, greater than, and all those. So the Excel would look at this and say, okay, which one comes before which? Division comes before multiplication. So if you have 2 divided by 4 times 6 plus 8, it will first of all carry out wherever division is before it will jump to multiplication, addition, and subtraction. All right. If you do it straight away, you may get the wrong answer. All right. So we moved on to the Excel functions. And then to remind you, before you can use any Excel function, you need to start with an equality sign, the equal to sign. Okay. So there are function names, and then they carry out the tasks we want them to. And then we tried the sum, the mean, the max, and the average. And that was that the last time. Okay, so today we'll be focusing more on functions. We'll talk about more functions to build on what we've done the last time. So what we'll be talking about today are as follows. So we'll talk about the manipulating strings. Now, a situation you can have first name in a particular column, last name in another column. So you don't want it to appear like first name, last name. You just want it to be together. Let's say Eze, Favor. Eze is in last name column, Favor is in first name column. And then you don't want it to always first name, last name. You just want Eze, Favor, right? So we can use these string or text functions to join them together or remove something we don't want, okay? Like that, we'll get to it. And we'll talk about the lookups. I know a lot of you are waiting for VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, okay? And then search. I'm going to introduce you to index and match with they are more powerful when combined together compared to VLOOKUP. I will inform you on the limitations of VLOOKUP, okay? So we're going to talk about data management, how to autofill, to hide, to format your charts. And then we're talking about sorting subtotals and removing duplicates. It's easy practice, okay? So it's not going to be so much. Let's begin with why we master Excel functions. They are very good. Like imagine you have to calculate maybe the total of a particular sale in a month. And then in your shop, maybe, or your restaurant or your supermarket, you find that you have like over 50 people in a day. 50 people times 30 in a month. How will you start? It's going to be very tasky for you. So it will help you to be efficient and to help you to automate your task. You save a lot of time. Now, in terms of accuracy, the probability that you make error if you are using Excel functions is very low. Because if you type the wrong thing, you may not even get you may not even get an answer. You may end up with an error to even tell you that something is wrong somewhere, so you can quickly go and check it out. The next thing is data transformation. You can just clean any sort of data that is so unorganized, clean it and reshape the data to, define it to whatever you want. And then decision making. This decision making has to do with your analytics. You will get there. Then career advancements. Imagine you are very good with Excel in your office. Of course, more work for you, and that means more pay for you. All right. So the next thing we'll talk about are the string functions. Now I'll be using a particular slide, but spreadsheets, which is also the Excel sheets. I will be using it, and I believe you have access to it, okay, so that you can follow through. It's going to be a video. You can always pause, go through it, and then you play back, right? So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the len function. The len function will only tell you, okay, how many characters do we have in this particular string? What I mean by string is a group of text. AAE is a text. Samuel is a text. Samuel 01 is a text, right? You combine them together, no space, is a text. So then the next one is left. Left will help us to, it's like you are removing some set of characters, right, from a particular string, but it starts from right to left, right? While right starts from left, it will start removing from left to right. Then the mid is very, very important. Imagine you want to extract a particular text from another text. So it will start, that mid is where it will start removing them from. I'll show you this in practical, okay? So let's go to our sheets. I'll be using Microsoft 365 today, so you can appreciate the interface, the differences in interface. You can see this is a typical interface of Microsoft 365, right? If you click on the insert, the share, the page layout, they are all available on Microsoft 2013, 2016, and 2019. You will still see them. Just a little difference in colors and a little appearances. Just not so much, right? But if you're using any of this, it's okay, you are good to go, right? You will not be confused over anything. So I will use this particular function because we will do more on this. Okay, so let me, hope you can see it. Let me remove this. this so that it will only appear when I need it. So we don't want the double, it's taking the whole space. Okay. So from the length function, I will use the one that has a little more of text. Okay. So I will be using this particular sheet, this master M list. That's the one I'll be using. So let's say I want to know how many characters we have in this particular cell. So you go as usual, equal to, right, LEN, length, you select it. So after selection, you click on the cell. So this is E12, right? If I enter, it's going to show me it, right? So let's count. S1, A2, N3, D4, R5, A6, E7, and S8. So let's say we have a character such as, let's say, some you are sleeping. Now you want to know how many characters in this cell. It's the same thing, equal to LEN, you parenthesis, and you click on this, you enter. It says 24, but some of you may count and you will imagine, okay, you will see, okay, the it's supposed to be, you will count and you will get 20. Now, Excel does not count just the physical characters you can see. Even the space here, 1, 4 is also a character. Excel will count everything. So it's always good practice. Anytime you type into Excel cell, make sure you don't have any space before and after it. Very good practice. Make sure there are no spaces before or after your text in a cell. Because if you count just the letters, you will end up with 20, ignoring the spaces 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 24. Then we go to right. This is for the length. And we go to right. Or let's start with the left first. Now, you don't want some sort of characters. Let's say you just want building. You don't want 2. How do you go about doing that? The same thing, equal to left. I will introduce you to something better when you are handling functions. If you look up here, just above your tables, right? Before the first column, before the first cell, just up here, you're going to see the name of your cell. You will see FX. Most of the times you will see FX. You won't see this. This is because I'm using 365. So click on the FX and it will bring you to this. This is a bit different from yours, right? So it will bring you to this. And then all you have to do, I'm using 365. So your own may be slightly different. You will not see this. You will see arguments, something there. So I want to use the left. So this is it. If I click on it, it will give me a beautiful interface such as this. So here you can now say which text do you want to reduce or you want to extract. Let's go with this G7, right? I'll just click on it and it will appear here. Then I'll say number of characters. See, it will even show you, give you a hint on how to use it. It specifies how many characters you want left to extract. So how many do I want it to extract? I want it to extract, let's say 5. And when I insert, okay, I'm not supposed to have this. So when I insert, it will give me build, right? This building one has how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I said I wanted to extract 5. Let's go back to it again. Left. This is the text I want to extract from. And this is how many characters I want it to return. So from the left, let's count. I told you left start from right. So from right, we'll start then towards the left. That's why it's called left. So it's extract from right to left. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why we ended up with build. So it's the same thing, the same logic for right. Right will start from left and, extract towards the right. So it's the same thing. You just practice, okay? You equal to, you type your right, then let's select the same building, right? And then comma, how many? Let's say 5. And then we enter. See? Into. Meaning from this building to, we are left with into, because we are using right. Okay? Now let's go with mid. Mid, the same thing, equals to mid. Now, where are we starting from? And how many characters? Let's say we want to start our extraction from U. So it's going to be 2. And then we want to return how many characters? Let's say 4. If you enter, sorry, I type mid and I'm typing mid again. Sorry, if you type anything wrongly, it's always good to use this, okay? So you just simply look for your mid and then the text you want. Let's say we want building 2. Where do we want it to start from? Let's say 5, the 5th character or the 2nd character. And then how many do we want it to return? We want it to return 4. Now, if you insert and then enter, you will have build, right? We started from the 2nd character, which is the U, and we just need 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's 4, you will see 4. If it's 3, you see 3. Okay? So that's that about manipulating strings, right? You're extracting, learn, left, mid. So it's just about extracting characters from a particular cell or text, right? The next thing we'll talk about is the VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is very important when you are dealing with large number of data, okay? Now, let me explain the VLOOKUP and then its limitation. The VLOOKUP, just like every other function, has a set of what we call arguments. These things you need to supply for it to carry out its calculation. It's what we call arguments. This thing, like when I type equal to, and then let's say sum, for instance, and then all this I need to add up. These are arguments. For functions to perform better, we need to supply some sort of arguments for them to use to work with. All right. So that's that about arguments. Let's go back to the slides. So that's that about arguments. Now, one thing about VLOOKUP is this. if you are looking for a particular item, that ID or value that you want to use, it must be the first column. It must start from the first column. If what you are looking for is in the second column, it cannot go back. I'll show you, I'll demonstrate this. It can't go back, okay? Let's say you have a typical sheets such as this. Let's say you are in a company such as this, and maybe your duty is to calculate the bonuses for a set of people at a particular maybe week. They were called in to do some extra work, and then you are supposed to calculate their bonuses. The only thing your manager gave you may be something like this. It will just give you the IDs, right? And this is the master list. Maybe you are 2,000, 3,000 or whatever number you may have. And the only thing it gave you are their IDs. Now, in VLOOKUP, what happens is you are going to use the ID to generate their first name, their last name, department, and pay rates. So that's where VLOOKUP comes in play. For this to happen, you use the ID here, compare it with this, and then extract all this you were asked to. You can see we didn't even need email, phone number, location, just what we have here. First name, last name, department, and pay rates. So all you need to do is use the ID here to extract this information from the master's list. It's a little of programming, right? Yes. So, but it's not difficult. The functions are there. It's just for you to put the right data, and then you'll get the right result, right? So let me explain better on what I mean by it has to start from the first column. Now, this ID that I'm looking for, right? I'll look for it from here. What if this ID is somewhere here? Let me say here. So what if it's here? I moved it from A to this place. So if the ID is here and then you decided to search, use the VLOOKUP, it can't go back here. It is a kind of a plus from your number line. It is a plus. From 0 to start 1, 2, 3. It doesn't go back to negative. So that is its major limitation, right? So it won't work like that. So let me take it back to where it was. Okay, how I was able to move this instantly from here to this place is, let me show you how I did it. I first of all highlighted the column. I press Ctrl-Shift down arrow key to highlight the entire column. And then I press Ctrl-X to cut, right? And then I go to where I want it to appear and I press Ctrl-Shift and plus. This, you may not see it in other versions. It will just do it for you. But here it's telling me, should I insert or shift? I'll just say shift cells and it will appear here, right? So I just do Ctrl-Z or Ctrl-Z and I'm back to where it was, right? So let's start working on the VLOOKUP. Now, like I said, just like every other function, you start with your equality sign. This time around, since we are going to use this ID to extract these informations from here, this is what we're going to do. We'll start with the first guy here, and then as usual, we do autofill. We double click on this. Once it changes to plus, double click, or we simply drag, you know, like that. So we start with the equality sign. We type our VLOOKUP, or we simply go here, right, and type our VLOOKUP. This is it. I will select. It will be a bit different if you are not using 365, okay? So you will type your equal to VLOOKUP, open parentheses, then you click on this FX. Something nice like this will come up, okay? So what value are we going to use to search? Let's say 1054, right? Do not press enter yet. Click on the table. Which of the tables do you want to use to find this particular employee that has this ID? This is where we want, right? So we're going to highlight everything, including the headers. Place your mouse cursor on A1 and hold down Control Shift down, right? Down arrow, press it once. While you maintain holding down the Control Shift, still press right arrow once, right? So since we are not going to be searching for that employee ID only, we'll be dragging. What we want to do is to make sure this is absolute. It does not change. We want to keep using the same cell. The same range of values. So this is what we're going to do. You can either type your $sign here, $A, $1, then you move here. I'm using the arrow keys to move easily like that without using the mouse. So $I and $38, right? If you do it this way, it will work. But let me give you a faster way to do this. Let me just remove all this. So the fastest way to do it is by highlighting the portion you want to make absolute and press F4. And see, I press it once and everything is done. Okay. The next thing is this particular column number, right? The column number is, remember, these are columns, the headers this way, right? And these are the rows, okay? So if we are talking about column number here, we'll be talking about what exactly are we fetching? Let's go back to the VLOOKUP. What are we searching for? First name, right? Then let's check again. First name is where? Column what? 1, 2, 3. So you press your 3, right? Then where exactly are you looking for this particular guy? Where exactly are you looking for it? Don't get confused. You just pay attention and you will get it, okay? Column number is this particular thing you are looking for, this first name. Where is it found on the list, this list that you highlighted? Where is it found? Okay. Then the last thing is your range lookup. Now you'll be asking, okay, range lookup again. Range lookup. You're like, which one is range lookup? Now, your range lookup is just a particular column, right, that you want. It's not the entire table, just the column. So in this case, pay close attention to what we're going to do. Right? You have your first name. You've captured it here, right? That's the column index. Then what you want is your range lookup. Let's look at this. Range lookup is a logical value to find the closest match in the first column. Is equal to true or omitted. Find and exalt is equal to false. It's a lot of story, but let me explain it simply for you. Now, for range lookup, what you want to find, right? You know, you have 1056, 1054. What is simply saying is this: Do I want to find something that is close to it, or I want to find the exact thing? Do I want to find an employee who has a value close to that of B3? And what is B3? B3 is 1054. Or do I want to find the one that is closest to it? This time around, you don't want to find the one closest to it, but you want to find the exact same thing. So what you're going to do is to type false, meaning find an exact match equals to false. Okay, that's why I encourage you to use these arguments, functions arguments window. You will see a little of explanation to guide you, right? Except you are very good, you can just type the formulas like that. But trust me, your chances of making errors is always going to be very high. All right, so it's good for you to use this, okay? So once I click on insert, or your own may just be, you click on, you press enter. So you see, it generated Howard for me. Let's confirm if Howard is actually the first name there. Yes, Howard is the first name, right? So let's go back and simply use the same method, and no, it's going to divide, it's supposed to go down, sorry. And generate. So you see, it will generate every other one. Now, if I scroll down here, here will show me error because no IDs were provided. So let's check for employee 1152 to confirm again. Employee 1152. 1152 is down a bit. 1152. Where is it? Is it 52? So we confirm and it's there. 1152 is Mark, 1067. They are all here. 1067 is Scott. Okay. Are you paying attention? I did something now and a lot of you didn't pay attention to it. Let's go back to the function. You can always see it here. If you check very well, you find out there are errors. I like to make errors like that so that we will see it properly, okay? Now, when you are using lookup, right? Your value, by the time you drag this thing, right? Your column is not supposed to change. But based on relative referencing, it changes. Let me take you back to our function, our sum.
Hi everyone. So in case you are watching, the tutor's network went out. So let me try to make sure that he joins back. So sorry for the delay. So Mr. Elijah is already here. Okay,
So
welcome, Mr. Elijah.
internet was really terrible. I had to switch. Um, Many of you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you.
I am so sorry. It was an internet issue. So I had to just quickly switch. All right, let me continue from where I stopped, which is the VLOOKUP. So let me delete this again. I'm sure a lot of people didn't get me the other time. I'm so sorry once again. So when we're talking about VLOOKUP, right, we want to use a particular ID or value to extract information relating to that particular ID or value, right? So let's start the VLOOKUP all over again. Now, the first thing we need to do is to use our equality sign, and we'll simply click on this, the FX button. So I'm going to select my VLOOKUP. The value, which is lookup value, is going to be this first one, which is B3, right? I'm going to explain this later after I drag everything down. So the table array is going to be the same, our master employee list. I'm going to grab everything. This is how I grab everything at once. I hold down my control key, my shift key, my right arrow key to grab the ones towards the right, that's all the column, and then I'll maintain my holding down shift and control key, and then press down arrow key to grab all the rows. Once I do that, you can see A1 to I38, right? These are all everything captured, the whole table. Now, the column index, it means this particular guy you're looking for, right? Which of the column can we find it in the master's list? And we're looking for first name, right? So we're going to go to 3, column 1, column 2, column 3. It accepts numbers, so column 3. Now the final arguments we need is the lookup range, right? The range lookup. Let me explain it again. The range lookup, it means this particular ID that we're looking for, right? We're looking for information connecting this ID to them. Now, we don't want a situation where it will return something close to it. Like if you can see the second record here, it has 1056. 1056 is close to 1054. But that is not what we want. There are instances where you will need a value that is close, but in this case, we don't want. So what it means is it's going to return true or false, right? True if you wanted to look for something close. But in this case, we don't want anything close. We want the exact same employee, right? So we're going to type false. And then I'm going to click on insert. Your own, you don't need insert. You can simply click on enter or press the enter key. Now it's going to generate Howard, right? And the idea is you do one and then you drag for the rest. Okay, let's confirm 1056. 1056 is actually Joe. So let me explain why that is, okay? From our formula here, the B3 is for 1054. But if you notice, 1056 goes down, which is the row, but the column is still the same. So in this case, we need to make sure the B, which is the column, remains the same. So I'm going to highlight the B alone and type F4 3 times, or simply type your $ in front of B, but not the 3, because it's going down. As it's going down, it will change from B3 to B4 to B5, B6, B7, B8, B9, B10, right? The B doesn't change. But if we leave it just B, that's why we are having a wrong output, okay? So let me enter again and then highlight everything, and you find that we have the correct data. So VLOOKUP, you have to pay attention to this. You know which one you need to make absolute, and you need to know which one you need to leave it as relative, okay? So that's that. So if we want for something added here. So anytime you are on your formula, make sure you don't click on any cell. I think I mentioned this last week. Don't click on any cell, because it will end up adding rubbish for you. Can you see? So anytime you have your cursor blinking in any of your formula, all you should do, the only thing that should come to your mind is press the enter key and you are out of it, right? So that's that. So I will leave you with exercise to extract for last name, department, pay rates once you have this file, okay? So we'll go to HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP is almost the same, right? It's almost the same. But this time around, it's talking about the rows and not the columns. You know, VLOOKUP is vertical, HLOOKUP is horizontal, which is the row. So it's the same thing we're going to apply, equal to, what are we going to do here? We want to use, let's say you are in a factory that has maybe 3 warehouses, right? Let me take you to the master's list. Okay, this is warehouse 1, warehouse 2, warehouse 3. And then you have products, particular product, but they have different numbers assigned to them, in the factory. Maybe factory 1, the same product is 120. It has a label 120, but in factory 2, it has the label 55. In warehouse 3, it has 70, like that. But you want to extract the same product, you want to know what is their label number in these different factories. Remember, we're talking about rows, up, down, 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 till you get to the last one. While VLOOKUP, it goes like this, like this, like this, check, 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 okay? So let's say this particular, okay, HLOOKUP, we are looking for this value. We want to know this product. What is the number, the label in those other warehouses? This is how we're going to do it. We'll still go ahead with equals to HLOOKUP. You type your HLOOKUP and you click on FX, right? I'm going to search for HLOOKUP here. Right? Our lookup value is this. Now, remember, our lookup value will not change if we want to, drag it down. So what do? We make sure this is absolute. It doesn't change. It remains B3 at all times. So what do? F4 once. Okay? We do F4 once to make it absolute. This $ in front of B and in front of 3 means the B, that's the column, will not change, and the row will also not change. So where do we want to find this? Where are we going to find this particular value from? We're going to find it in the master inventory list. So we are going to capture everything. That's from our this here. We're going to capture everything. Okay, are you following? So we're going to capture everything, right? It doesn't matter. Let's say somebody may ask, should I capture from here too? Yes, you can. Because it's going to take the row, like that, okay? So that's how it's going to do it. Now our table array has to be absolute too. All right, it has to be absolute. This is it has to be absolute. Capture everything. So the same thing I taught you, place your mouse cursor here, Control Shift right to capture all the columns, and then down to capture all the rows. So once you have this, you highlight and then F4 once. Everything is captured. Now we're talking about the row index. Row index. Remember, this is where we are trying to extract to, okay? We use a key from here, look for it from here, right? And then it appears here. I hope you understand that part. Good. So the next thing we're going to add, which is the argument, is the row index. Now you'll be asking, what is row index in this case? Remember the VLOOKUP, we used what? Column indexed. Our row index now, look at it. We're looking for this, right? We're looking for warehouse to inventory. And warehouse to inventory is, now, let me put you through. If you capture the whole thing here, it's going to start from here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is warehouse 2. It's going to, since you capture everything, when it wants to start looking for a particular thing, it will start from here. This is row 1, row 2, row 3. So you type 3. The same thing our range lookup type false, because we want the exact same thing. And then you enter. When you enter, you have the label for this particular product in warehouse 2. Right? It's easy, right? Very easy. So you just scroll down and then you grab for the rest. It's showing you the same error. That means you need to do what? There are files you need to make absolute, okay? And there are some you need to make relative. You leave it to floats. Now, if you leave it to floats, it means your row is coming down, right? But the column is not changing. You apply the same thing there and then you get the right answer. It's also a tax for you, okay? It's a tax for you. So you figure it out. Use the knowledge you get from here to apply it, because XP200 here, XP200 in warehouse 3 is 115, not 110. So that's an assignment for you. All right. So the next thing we will do is to go to our next functions that we want to talk about. The index and match. Now, because of the limitations of VLOOKUP, index and match is brought in to help out to tackle these limitations, okay? Now, for the index, we'll talk about index first. We'll talk about the index and then the match. The index will return a value by position, meaning it will return the value of an element in a table by its row and column number indexes. And then the match will find a position, searches for an item in the event and return its relative position. All these are a little confusing if you don't put it into practice. So let's put it into practice and see. Let's go to index match functions. I will simply delete this. I don't need it. I will delete this too. I'll also delete this, because that is what we're going to use. Now, in the index, what did we say? Let's go back and see it one more time. Our index will use a range of values, right? You supply the row number and column number, and it will give you a value. Meaning is like you are telling it, go to cell F2. I want the value in F2. You may not see it as important right now, but it's very, very important. So it will go to a particular table and then pick a particular cell that you are going to provide the row number and the column number. Once you provide this, it will give you a value. The value could be text, it could be numbers, okay? So that is index. While the match is going to return a value, a numerical value, meaning a number, right? The match is going to return a number while the index is going to return a value. So let's get to it. Now, for index here, what we want is to return the value at a specific position. Let's say we start equals to index. You type your index and then you click on this fx. Okay. In this case, I'm not clicking on index. I will simply look for index. I am using 365. That's why I need to search for it. So you are going to see to use the first one. Okay. The array now is, where do I want to find this? Of course, I'll use my master temp list. Okay. Then I'm going to highlight everything. Right? And I will make sure they are absolute. I don't want them to change. Remember F4. Okay. Row number. Let's just put anyone. 5. And column number, let's put anyone. 4. So it's going to get us the value from cell 4, 4, right? Column is 4, row is 4. And when you hit your enter, it will tell you 80. So let's confirm from our master's list. Column 4 and row 4 is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Column 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, I used the headers too. So it's going to start from the header 1, 2, 3, 4, 80. Right? So that's that about index. Let's go to match. Okay, Jade Noel asked a question if this will work on Google Sheet. Yes, it will. It will work. It's the same idea. The only difference between Google Sheets and Excel, Microsoft Excel, is that Google Sheet does not provide these FX windows like Microsoft Office. That's just the challenge. So you need to like type everything. And it will become very trickish for you when you are dealing with nested functions. You have a function and you have another function inside it. So errors are likely to occur, right? But as long as you type the right arguments, you'll get the right values. I hope I answered your question. Sorry. Okay. So that's that about index. Let's go with match. Now, match will return the value. It's a number, right? You provide a set of, you look for something to find the position of that value. Remember, index returns the value, match returns the position number. Okay, so let's get to it. Equals to match, right? I don't need to type. You need to type. I don't need to type here. The same thing here. Let me just type match here. Match. And then this comes up. What is the lookup value? Is this before? Now, what's the lookup array? The lookup array is still going to be our table, right? So where is it? Masters and list. So highlight everything, right? And then what exactly are you looking for? You may not know, right? So let's click on match type. It's the same thing, but a little different here when we're talking about if we wanted the exact value or something slightly or close to it, right? But we want the exact same thing. So look at, it's a little different. It's not true or false this time around. It's 1, 0, or -1, right? So not to waste our time, 0 is actually like false. We want the exact same thing. So we're going to insert. Oh, sorry. I typed the wrong thing here. Let me see. I typed something wrongly here, so that's why I'm getting that error. Let me just see it. Okay. So, as usual, I need to make this absolute. Let me type it once again. Our match function, sorry, this does not allow me to edit. So let me just start it again. I'm going to use the match function. Our lookup value will be this, right? Our lookup array is going to be our table. Where is it? Where is it? This, Control Shift down and right. So once we have this, the next thing we want to do is our match type. 1, 0, or -1. So I'm going to select 0, okay? And then you can make this absolute because you don't want the values to change. I'm still getting an error. Let me see where I'm typing wrongly. Because that's one thing with Excel. You need to be absolutely sure of what you're typing. It may be a very small error, and then you are hooked. Sorry, just give me a moment. Let me check it out. B4. Master. Okay, I'm using the wrong. Oh, sorry. I'm using the wrong sheets. That's why. So let's go back to it again. Sorry, I used the wrong sheets. So this is master M please. I'm supposed to use index match because everything has been arranged. Sorry, equal to. So our value is still this 1054, and then our lookup is going to be the same array. That's for index match emp list. We're looking for, okay, let's say we were looking for department, control down, right? And make it absolute. Okay, so 0. Yeah, so that's it now. What am I typing wrongly here? C1 to C, absolute, B for index match and please. C1 to C, 38. I'm not seeing what I'm typing wrongly here. So let's see 1 to typing anything wrongly here. There's nothing wrong here. Oh, sorry. See it. I type 1 instead of 0. Okay. Is it still 0? Sorry, let me look at this again. Sorry. I'm typing this column instead of row. I'm so sorry. I'm typing column instead of row. Sorry. This is the error here. This is the error. So you have to pay attention to what you're selecting, all right? It's going to be very funny sometimes. You think you are selecting the right thing, there is no error. And it turns out that, oh, you made an error somewhere. So looking at this, what we want is the row and not the column, okay? Because it's going to search for the number, right? If you are searching this way, you will not get it. So it's going to be searching. All right, so let's do it now. Index and match. Let's start it all over again. Equal to sign fx so sorry about that. 1054 lookup array. Go to this. Let's make it absolute match. That's 8. All right. Now 0. I'm still getting an error. Where is this error coming from? Sorry, I will work on this so that let's not waste time. I'm still getting an error from here, but I shouldn't, right? Sorry, I shouldn't be getting this error. So I've wasted so much time on this. I shouldn't be getting this error at all. All right. So index match 823. I know I'm typing something wrong. I'm so sorry about that. Combine syntax. I worked with this just yesterday. Sorry. Lookup value array. The error is coming from the array. I want to figure it out first. I'm still getting an error. What am I not typing? Sometimes on Excel, array what am I getting wrongly here? Let me know. D1. Okay. So let me save this. And then 0. Just do it manually because I don't know why it's getting that error. I'm still getting an error. Sorry, we have to leave this and move ahead, right? We have to move ahead. I don't know why I'm getting an error there, but I'll find a way and do it and send it to you. Sorry, please. So we'll be able to talk about the VLOOKUP, the HLOOKUP, the string manipulation, and then index, but match for some reason I'm having a serious error. I'll look into it and then I'll send the error that I've been making all along. Since this is live, we don't want to waste so much time again, okay? So I'm going to go through, I'll work on it and I'll send you the solution, right? I've wasted so much time on this. So we'll go to data management basics, how to quickly, make your data better and more efficient. So you quickly populate your data, like that functions that we've had. If you want to quickly see, you want to use the same function for the rest, that's plus sign. You double click on it or you drag. Then that's for copying formulas relative to the ones you've solved. Then we're talking about data, they're all there. We're talking about formatting, right? If you go to your insert tab, you go to your insert tab, your chart group, you're going to see they're all here. From this inserts, these are all tabs, right? And these are your charts. So you can simply pick any of them and work with it. Yes. Samopad, that is the problem. I was using the lookup array for lookup value. That's the error. Thank you for that. So we'll try it out, okay? We'll try it out. That's the correct thing. I saw it. I was using, this is supposed to be, it's not supposed to be here. I'm using the wrong values, but there's no time again for me to go through all those things, okay? So let's just forge ahead. Now, we're talking about data management basics. You need to understand what the autofill feature is. You create one formula and you just copy it. It will calculate the rest for you. Formatting Excel chart, I showed you, go to your tab and then you see different charts over there. And then for hiding and unhiding your rows, there are times you don't want a particular column to show or row. You temporarily hide or unhide it. It's there, but it's just not there. The headers, you click on headers. For instance, all those employee ID, first name, last name, those are the headers. You click on them and then there's hide or unhide after you right click, right? Then the next thing is we're going to be talking about our list structure, right? Our list structure. Now, for every Excel sheet, your rows are your records. Your columns are your fields. Every single point, every cell under that field must be the same. For instance, you shouldn't have dates under a field, first name. Everything in that field like that must be first the names, tangible names. If you have first name, everything down must be names, okay? Then inserting data, we have a single level and multi-level. You simply tap on your data. There's a data tab, and then you're going to see sort and filter. Let me just show you this. This is the data I'm talking about. Let's say if you have a field like this, and then maybe they were not arranged, you want to sort them out. You select everything, right? You go to your data tab, and then you'll be able to see data validation sorting, right? You can sort them in ascending or descending order, right? And there's custom sort where you need to put in a little values. We will not go into these ones now, okay? Then the next thing we're going to talk about, then we'll wrap it up, is the subtotal. Subtotal is very good. Let's say you have set of sales, and then maybe in your shop you have different products. You have the meat, you have the spinach, and then you want to know the total of sales you've made for meat. Subtotal will help you to do that. You go to your data tab, the outline, then you will see subtotal. It will calculate it for you. Then you are removing duplicates. To remove duplicates, all you have to do is go to your data tab, your data tools, you remove duplicates. It's there. All right. Sorry, I am a bit rushing this. So that's that was supposed to cover, but I'm so sorry I wasted time on that match. I used the wrong range. That's why it's getting an error. So I will forward you the sheets so you can have them and practice. If you have any questions, you send them. I will do my best to answer your questions, okay? Thank you so much for listening. All right. I will see you some other time.